Welcome to A Year in the Bible with Daily Grace. The Bible tells one big story of redemption, and we want to spend 5 minutes every day journeying through the Bible from start to finish and exploring how all of it points to Jesus.
Hey friends, welcome back to A Year in the Bible with Daily Grace. My name is Tiffany, and we are making our way through Isaiah together. We ended our time yesterday with the reminder that idols are futile. This theme will continue as we look at Isaiah chapters 46 through 48 today. But more importantly, we will be reminded of God's glory. Once again, He will prove why He alone is worthy of our praise and trustworthy in all things. Chapter 46 continues the topic of idols, specifically Babylon's. Bel and Nebo were the most popular of the Babylonian gods, and here in Isaiah we see that they are fleeting and lead to destruction. Not only that, they are created by man and must be carried by people or animals. They are inanimate objects that can do nothing for themselves. But God Almighty is different. God gives life and provides salvation. He alone carries His children. In Isaiah 46:4, we read, "I will be the same until your old age, and I will bear you up when you turn gray. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will bear and rescue you." What a gift that the Maker of heaven and earth carries us from the time we are born until we are old and gray. He is the only God worthy of our praise. If His love and care for us wasn't enough, we are reminded in verses 9 and 10 of His sovereignty over history and the future. He declares the end from the beginning, and He will do all that He wills for His creation and His children. Once again, we are pointed to the bird of prey from the east, which we know is Cyrus the Great. God would use him to bring judgment on Babylon and her idols. God was saving a remnant of His people to further His plan of redemption found in Jesus Christ. In chapter 47, Isaiah shares the details and reasons for the coming fall of Babylon. It's important for us to remember that at the time Isaiah is prophesying, Babylon is not even a world power yet. This prophecy was over a century before these events would take place, once again declaring the sovereignty of God over history. Chapter 47 declares that Babylon's idols will not save them when God's judgment comes upon them. And while this message from Isaiah would have a near fulfillment when Babylon physically fell, these verses also have a future fulfillment as well. We've spoken before about how Babylon is representative of the evil nations and world order of any given time period. Under Alexander the Great, it was the Greeks. Under the rule of the Caesars, it was the Romans. And across history, as various nations have risen and fallen, their sin, wickedness, and arrogance have been punished as they placed themselves on the throne and not God. This message is for the conquering nation of Babylon, but also for the nations that rule our world even today. Verses 7 through 11 display this punishment on Babylon for their arrogance and thinking they are the queen that rules over the world and that they will never fall. Even though God will use Babylon to bring discipline to Judah, God will punish Babylon for their treatment of His people and for their arrogance and sin. None of their idols, astrology, or sorcery would save them. This applies once again to our world order today and in the future as well. Judgment awaits the world for their mockery and sin against God. Isaiah 48 is a hopeful chapter as it declares that all things are done for the glory of God and that He's working for our benefit to bring salvation. Several verses in this chapter bring our hearts to worship our great God. Verse 3 says, "I declared the past events long ago. They came out of my mouth. I proclaimed them. Suddenly I acted, and they occurred." God ordained creation, and he holds the events of the world in his hands. He is in complete control, and we have no reason to fear. We read of his glory once again in verses 9 and 11, which say, I will delay my anger for the sake of my name, and I will restrain myself for your benefit and for my praise, so that you will not be destroyed. I will act for my own sake, indeed my own, for how can I be defiled? I will not give my glory to another. Through Isaiah, God is telling Judah and us his plan. No, we don't have all of the details, but we do know that his purpose is for his glory and that the outcome will be for our benefit. The Redeemer was coming for Israel, and the Redeemer has come for us. Jesus is the embodiment and the radiance of God's glory, and his death and resurrection was for our benefit. Isaiah 48, verse 18, is a helpful way for us to end today. It says, If only you had paid attention to my commands, then your peace would have been like a river, and your righteousness like the waves of the sea. While these words were originally spoken to Judah, they apply even today. When we follow the commands of the Lord and follow after Jesus in all we do, we have an internal and eternal peace like nothing this world has to offer. When we live for Christ, righteousness washes over us like the waves. This is a promise we can trust and one we should seek all of our days. Thanks again for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you back tomorrow, and we will talk about chapters 49 through 51 as we keep walking through the book of Isaiah. Be sure to follow along on our Instagram pages at Daily Grace Podcast and at The Daily Grace Co. And you can always check out our website, thedailygraceco.com, for resources to help you as you dig deeper. I will see you tomorrow, friends.